It's not just digital money. Alright, so let's get right into it. You've probably heard about Bitcoin, maybe you've seen the news or your friend won't stop talking about it at dinner. But then you look online and you see thousands of other cryptocurrencies. There's Ethereum, Dogecoin, Cardano, and a whole bunch of others with strange names. It can feel really overwhelming and you might be thinking, why do we need so many? Aren't they all just trying to be digital money? The simple answer is no. Thinking all cryptocurrencies are the same is like thinking every website on the internet does the same thing. It just isn't true. Each one is built to do something different, to solve a unique problem. The reason there are so many cryptocurrencies is because each one represents a different idea or a different project. Some, like Bitcoin, are designed to be a store of value, kind of like digital gold. Their main job is to be a secure way to hold and send value without needing a bank. But others have much bigger ambitions. Think of it like this: you have different apps on your phone. One is for sending messages, one is for ordering food, and another is for watching videos. Cryptocurrencies are similar. Each project is like a different app, with its own specific purpose, and its own unique set of rules. This explosion of digital assets started because the technology behind them, called the blockchain, is incredibly flexible. It's like a new type of digital Lego set. Once developers realized they could build more than just a simple payment system, they started getting creative. They began designing cryptocurrencies to power video games, create new financial systems, track supply chains, and even represent ownership of digital art. So every time a new team of developers has a new idea for how to use this technology, they often create a new cryptocurrency to go along with it. This is why the list keeps growing every single day. So when you see a list of thousands of cryptocurrencies, don't get intimidated. Instead, think of it as a massive, bustling digital city with thousands of different businesses. Each business or crypto project is trying to offer a unique service. Some of these businesses will become huge successes like the Amazons or Googles of the crypto world. Others might not make it. The key takeaway here is that the variety exists because of innovation. People are constantly experimenting and building new things, and that's what makes this space so exciting and also a little bit chaotic. But understanding this basic idea is the first step to making sense of it all. Now let's smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and talk about one of the most confusing parts for beginners: the difference between a coin and a token. They sound like the same thing, and people often use the words interchangeably. But they are fundamentally different. It's a small detail, but it's super important if you want to understand what you're actually buying. A cryptocurrency coin has its own independent blockchain. Think of it like a country that has its own government, its own roads, and its own currency. Bitcoin is a perfect example. It runs on the Bitcoin blockchain. Ether runs on the Ethereum blockchain. These are the native assets of their own networks. Coins are the fuel that makes their native blockchain run. For example, if you want to make a transaction on the Bitcoin network, you have to pay a small fee in Bitcoin. That fee pays the people who help keep the network secure. So, the coin is essential to the operation of its own blockchain. It's not just something you can buy and sell, it has a real job to do within its digital ecosystem. Other examples of coins include Cardano, which runs on the Cardano blockchain, and Solana, which runs on the Solana blockchain. Each of these projects built its entire digital infrastructure from the ground up, and their coin is the native currency of that infrastructure. On the other hand, we have tokens. Tokens do not have their own blockchain. Instead, they are built on top of an existing blockchain, kind of like building a house on a piece of land that someone else already owns. The most popular platform for creating tokens is Ethereum. Think of the Ethereum blockchain as a massive digital operating system like Windows or iOS. Developers can then build their own applications or dApps on top of Ethereum, and they often create a token to go with their app. These are called ERC-20 tokens, which is just a technical standard for creating tokens on Ethereum. It's much easier and cheaper than building a whole new blockchain from scratch. So, what do these tokens do? Well, they can do almost anything the creator designs them to do. For example, a token could be used to get access to a service like an entry ticket to a concert. It could represent a share in a company, a vote in a project's future, or even loyalty points for a coffee shop. A great example is the Basic Attention token, which is used within the Brave web browser. You can earn BAT for viewing privacy-respecting ads. You can see that BAT doesn't need its own massive blockchain, it just needs a platform to exist on, and it uses Ethereum for that. So, remember, coins have their own blockchain, while tokens borrow one. Okay, so we've mentioned this word blockchain a few times. Let's break down what it actually is, because it's the technology that makes all of this crypto stuff possible. And honestly, it's not as complicated as it sounds. At its core, a blockchain is just a digital ledger or a record book. Imagine a notebook where you write down every single transaction that happens. But here's the cool part. This notebook isn't stored in one place. Instead, a copy of the notebook is shared among thousands of computers all over the world. This is what makes it so secure and transparent. Let's dig a little deeper. The name blockchain literally describes how it works. Transactions are grouped together into blocks. Each block is like a page in our digital notebook. Once a block is filled with transactions, it gets added to the end of the chain. And here is the magic. Each new block is cryptographically linked to the one before it, creating a chain of blocks. This link is like a super strong digital seal. If anyone tried to go back and change the information in an old block, they would break the seal. Because everyone has a copy of the notebook, they would immediately see that the seal is broken and reject the change. This structure is what makes a blockchain immutable, which is a fancy word for unchangeable. Once a transaction is recorded on the blockchain, it's there forever. You can't delete it or alter it. Think about how you trust a bank to keep accurate records of your money. With a blockchain, you don't have to trust a central company like a bank. Instead, you trust the technology itself. The network of thousands of computers all work together to verify and agree on every transaction. This process ensures that the records are accurate and that nobody can cheat the system by spending the same money twice. So, in short, a blockchain is a shared, secure, and permanent record book. It's maintained by a global network of computers instead of a single company. This design is what allows cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin to exist without needing a bank or a government to manage them. It's the digital backbone that provides the security and trust for the entire system. It's a powerful invention that allows us to create digital assets that are truly our own. And it's the foundation that everything else in the crypto world is built upon. It's a total game changer for how we think about data and value. Let's get into a concept that is at the very heart of cryptocurrency decentralization. This word gets thrown around a lot, and honestly, it's a really big deal. All it means is that there is no single person, company, or government in control. It's the opposite of a centralized system, which is what we are used to in our everyday lives. For example, your bank account is centralized. The bank is in charge. They hold your money, they approve your transactions, and they can freeze your account if they want to. They are the central authority, and you have to trust them. Decentralization flips that model upside down. In a decentralized system like Bitcoin, there is no CEO, there is no headquarters, there is no central server that can be shut down. Instead, the power and control are distributed among all the users of the network. Remember that shared digital notebook, the blockchain? Because everyone has a copy, no single person can make a decision for the entire network. To make any changes to the rules, the majority of users would have to agree to it. This makes the system incredibly resilient and resistant to censorship. Let's use another real-world comparison. Think about Wikipedia versus a traditional encyclopedia. A traditional encyclopedia is centralized. A team of experts at a publishing company decides what information goes in, and they print the books. Wikipedia, on the other hand, is more decentralized. Anyone can contribute and edit articles. The community of users works together to verify the information and maintain the quality. A blockchain network is like that, but with a much higher level of security and automated rules. The network is run by its users for its users. So why does this matter so much? Well, decentralization is what gives cryptocurrencies their power. It means that no government can suddenly print more Bitcoin and devalue it. No bank can block your transaction because they don't like who you're sending money to. You have full control over your own assets. This is especially important for people living in countries with unstable governments or unreliable financial systems. For them, a decentralized currency can be a lifeline. It's a system where the rules are transparent and the same for everyone, no matter who you are or where you live. Now that we have the basics down, let's talk about some of the actual cryptocurrencies you'll see out there. The undisputed king is, of course, Bitcoin. It was the very first cryptocurrency, created in 2009 by the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto. Bitcoin's main purpose is simple: to be a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. It was designed to be a store of value that is secure, scarce, and not controlled by any central authority. Many people call it digital gold because, like gold, there is a limited supply. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence, which is what helps it hold its value over time. Next up is the second biggest player, Ethereum. Ethereum was launched in 2015, and it took the original idea of a blockchain and expanded it. If Bitcoin is like digital gold, Ethereum is more like a global, decentralized supercomputer. Its creator, Vitalik Buterin, realized that a blockchain could be used for more than just sending money. He designed Ethereum to be programmable. This means developers can build and run their own applications, called smart contracts, directly on the Ethereum blockchain. This is what opened the floodgates for thousands of new tokens, NFTs, and decentralized finance projects. Beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, pretty much every other cryptocurrency is referred to as an altcoin, which is short for alternative coin. There are thousands of them, and they all try to do something different or improve upon the original designs of Bitcoin and Ethereum. For example, some altcoins try to be faster and cheaper for transactions, positioning themselves as better payment systems. Others focus on privacy, using advanced cryptography to hide the sender, receiver, and amount of a transaction. Some are designed specifically for gaming, while others aim to connect different blockchains together. A few well-known altcoins include Ripple, which is focused on partnering with banks to make international payments faster and cheaper. There's also Cardano, which takes a slow, research-driven approach to building a secure and scalable smart contract platform, positioning itself as a potential Ethereum competitor. And then you have meme coins like Dogecoin, which started as a joke but gained a massive community and became surprisingly popular. Each altcoin has its own community, technology, and goals. It's a crowded space, and it's important to research what each one actually does before considering an investment. Alright, let's dive back into the world of tokens, because this is where things get really creative. Remember, tokens are built on existing blockchains like Ethereum. They can be programmed to represent almost anything, and they generally fall into a few main categories. The most common type you'll encounter is a utility token. A utility token is designed to be used for something specific within a particular project or application. Think of it like an arcade token. You can't use it to buy groceries, but you need it to play the games inside the arcade. It has a specific utility. For example, a cloud storage project might issue a utility token that you use to pay for storage space on their decentralized network. Or a decentralized video streaming platform might require you to hold their token to access premium content. The basic attention token we mentioned earlier is a perfect utility token. Its use case is tied directly to the Brave browser ecosystem. These tokens are not necessarily designed to be investments like stocks, although people do speculate on their value. Their primary purpose is to grant access to a product or service. They are the keys that unlock the features of a specific digital world. Next, we have security tokens. These are very different and are much more heavily regulated. A security token is a digital representation of a traditional investment product. Think of things like stocks, bonds, or real estate. For example, a company could issue security tokens that represent ownership shares in their business. If you own that token, you might be entitled to a share of the company's profits, just like a traditional stockholder. The main idea here is to take real-world assets and put them on the blockchain, making them easier to trade, divide, and manage. Because they represent ownership in an investment, they are subject to strict government regulations. Finally, let's touch on one of the most talked about types of tokens in recent years, non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. This sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Fungible means something is interchangeable. A $1 bill is fungible because you can swap it for any other $1 bill and it's the same. Non-fungible means something is unique and cannot be replaced. An NFT is a token that represents ownership of a one-of-a-kind digital item. This could be a piece of digital art, a collectible video game item, a virtual piece of land, or even a ticket to an event. The blockchain proves who the real owner is, creating digital scarcity for the first time. So, we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about coins, tokens, blockchains, decentralization, and all the different flavors of crypto projects out there. At this point, you might be wondering, why do I need to know all this? The reason is simple. Knowledge is your best defense in the world of cryptocurrency. This is a new and exciting technology, but it's also a very volatile and risky market. Without a basic understanding of what these different assets are and what they are trying to do, it's very easy to make costly mistakes. It's like trying to invest in the stock market without knowing the difference between a tech company and a car company. Understanding the difference between a coin and a token helps you evaluate a project's foundation. Is it running on its own independent network, or is it relying on another platform like Ethereum? Knowing what a utility token does helps you determine if it has a real-world use case that could drive demand. If a token doesn't seem to do anything useful, it might just be a purely speculative asset with a much higher risk. Similarly, understanding decentralization helps you appreciate the core value proposition of projects like Bitcoin and why they are so different from the traditional financial systems we use every day. This knowledge empowers you to look past the hype and the crazy price charts you see on the news. It allows you to ask the right questions. What problem does this project solve? Who is the team behind it? Does it have a strong community? Is the technology solid? By learning the fundamentals, you can start to form your own educated opinions instead of just following the crowd or listening to some random person on the internet telling you what to buy. Every cryptocurrency is a different kind of investment with a different level of risk, and you need to be able to tell them apart. Ultimately, the goal is not to become a blockchain expert overnight. The goal is to build a solid foundation of knowledge so you can navigate the crypto space safely and make informed decisions. Before you even think about putting a single dollar into any cryptocurrency, take the time to learn. Watch videos, read articles, and understand the basics we've discussed today. The more you learn, the more confident you will become and the better equipped you will be to separate the promising projects from the ones that are all hype and no substance. Your future self and your wallet will thank you for it.